back at you with another one. So before I sort of speak about last night's game, just first and foremost, apologies. I know, I am aware I didn't upload a preview video, and yes, I know I'm not that massive and I've not got, you know, thousands of subscribers, but there are a few genuine ones who generally sort of watch out for my videos, and I appreciate all the support. And for you guys, I'm so sorry, but as you can sort of see, I sort of had technical issues and now I've upgraded, so hopefully going forward I can bring out much better content like this one here today. So going on to sort of yesterday's game, we drew 1-1 with Southampton, and there were a few records Arteta thankfully didn't break. So we've never lost to Southampton at home since the Premier League era, and we have never lost 5 games in a row in our entire history, and that's going back to 1886. So he was very fortunate last night that he didn't break that record. But we'll be looking at the game, and how do I personally feel about it? I'm not that mad no more. I'm not angry. I've gone beyond that point, you know, when you sort of get into apathy and you just don't really care. I wasn't happy with the lineup. Yes, it's better than usual, but then that's due to circumstances like Xhaka and Bellerina being suspended. Do I think Bellerina will play come Sunday? Was it Sunday or Saturday? I'm not sure, but I know it's a weekend. Yeah, of course he is. Is Xhaka gonna come back after the suspension and play? Yes. And speaking on Xhaka, the irony in terms of that, Arteta got this guy to somehow play for the badge after he threw the armband, and to be fair, I've never forgiven him for that. And that's probably why, to an extent, you kind of sort of see me during videos, I don't speak highly of Xhaka, because truth be told is, I haven't forgiven him for the armband, and that pissed me off. That pissed me off, and why we let a man continue to play for this club after he did that tells me everything I need to know about this club and how far we've fallen. So it's been how many days now? 5 days and counting, and not an apology. Nicolas Pepe, following day, apologised. Yeah. Yesterday, Gabriel, within hours, apologised, and this is a 22-year-old centre back. And then you have Granit Xhaka, who's a favourite of the manager. And he's an experienced player. So no. I don't want an apology, if I'm honest with you. The only thing I want Xhaka to do is hand in a transfer request and get the fuck out of my club, and that's the honest truth. But let's sort of look at things in terms of Arsenal, and let's not look too much into idiots like Xhaka, who, let's be real, man, the sooner he gets out of here, the better we are as a club, and we can progress in the right direction. But as you can sort of see, Liverpool, oh yeah, let's talk about Liverpool. It seems like Liverpool seems to be doing us favours over and over again, especially when it comes to our loud neighbours down the road. They managed to beat them and save our lives, yeah, in the Champions League. I won't be sat here today if Tottenham won the Champions League. I would have probably gone through depot, moved countries, gone through major surgeries. You won't be able to recognise me, because I know if those guys won that, I'm fucked. I'm fucked. I've got too many Tottenham friends and I'm not doing it. But yeah, it seems like Liverpool beat him yesterday. And let me just ask you this question here, guys. So we speak about personnel and players. Liverpool didn't have 2 of their starting centre backs yesterday. Yeah, they had a young guy from the academy and Fabinho. So can you please explain to me why they still managed not to get exposed like we did when we played Spurs? It's because it's due to the system that their manager has enforced. And I keep telling Arsenal fans this: you have a good manager, you'll progress. Yeah, I'm constantly getting stuff like, oh, but it's the players, it's this and that, like making non-stop excuses. Can someone please answer this? How did those players under Arteta win the FA Cup? How did they beat the likes of United last season, and when we were very unfortunate to lose to Chelsea? You know, we saw the high press and the style of play, but he's not been able to maintain that, and then he's causing dressing room frictions and stuff like that. And I've always continuously said Arteta is not the plan, and I'm constantly hearing by Arsenal fans a new manager won't change things. Of course, we don't know this. You can't be making statements like this. It seems like Arsenal fans sound like, you know, a guy whose woman has cheated on him, and since then he just doesn't trust any women at all. Paints them all in the same brush and goes, no, can't be dating women. How do you know? Look at Spurs, yeah? They had to go through the likes of Redknapp, Sherwood, Bilesh Boas, etc. to get to reach to Poch, and as soon as they found Poch, they've been elevated, and now let's be honest, they are a better team than we are, and he's taken them to mid-table to consistently being in the Champions League. And yes, they haven't won anything, but they are more likely to compete for the league, and it's only a matter of time before they do win something. And I think we need to find our Poch. We need to go around kissing frogs until we meet our prince, as you would say in sort of fairy tale world. So but that doesn't, you know, distinguish the fact that we still have an inept board, and that needs to change as well. But we'll discuss the board and managers at further sort of details. But looking at the league table, as I said, Liverpool sat comfortably, so at least that slightly eases our pain. And if we're sort of looking at it, our rivals yesterday, Leeds United, yeah, they got a 5-2 victory against Newcastle, and we're still currently sat 15th. Not really great readings for us, and with a -5 goal difference. Last night Newcastle got hammered 5-2, and how do they have the same goal difference as us? That tells you everything you need to know about the style of play that we're adopting and playing. Yeah, and also we sort of saw our relegation rival West Brom appoint Sam Allardyce. That's another manager who could have helped us out during these tough moments that we've lost to. But all jokes aside, I do think we need to change things up imminently, and I've always maintained nothing's going to happen because the board have too much faith in Arteta, and I truly believe come sort of Boxing Day, that's when we're going to see the likes of Chelsea beat us, and that's when we might actually see Arteta get the sacking. And until then, we're just going to have to sort of continue with the crap style of play and continue on losing, which is not the greatest. One thing that did sort of remind me yesterday is why the majority of our fan bases were celebrating a draw at home to Southampton. Have we regressed that much that a draw at Southampton is all of a sudden a do you know what I mean? Is that our standards now? Last year we had fans complaining a draw's not enough, and a few weeks sorry, Unai Emery got sacked. So why now is a draw against Southampton positive? Is it because we've been losing recently and all of a sudden a draw is not so bad? Is that how low our standards are? We need to keep reminding ourselves we should not get into this sort of mindset that we are this Arsenal that the Cronkies are pushing onto us. We're not Arsenal PLC, we're Arsenal Football Club, and we need to remember who we are and where we come from, yeah? And being 15th and celebrating draws against Southampton is not who we are. And we can sort of sit here and, you know, have divides and cuss each other out, but one thing is apparent, that there's a massive division amongst Arsenal fans, but we should focus and realise who we are, that we are a big club, and games like this we should be beating them. We shouldn't drop our standards, and the only way we can progress is if we remind ourselves of our history, and not even sort of distant history, but sort of referring to recent history as well. And maybe then it might galvanise the fan base to realise actually we're not some business that the Cronkies should just, you know, play around with. We're not just going to accept any mediocre manager or a manager on work experience that a Cronky give us. You know, we shouldn't accept this. We shouldn't accept 32-year-olds joining our club on a 3-year contract. Why? We're not retirement home. It's stuff like this, you know, that annoys me. The old Arsenal, and I remember the old Arsenal fan base would not tolerate this. So why is it today we have the Cronkies broken us so much that we just don't care? We've given up. But that's my 2 cents on that. But in terms of the player ratings, Bernd Leno, I can't really fault him for the first goal, Theo's goal, but Yeah, he didn't have a great game. He didn't have a bad game. He just didn't really do much, if I'm honest with you. And I can't really, as I said, blame the goal on him. So he gets a 6 for me. Moving on to the centre backs, Holding. Not his biggest fan, but I'd actually say he was our best defender yesterday. But he was quite fortunate towards the end, where I'm not sure if he actually intended to block their player, but it could have been a possible penalty. So, but other than that, in terms of clearances, he was good in the air. Sometimes a bit shaky on the ground, and he was very, very, very unfortunate to hit the crossbar and not got the winning goal. And based on his performance yesterday, he gets a 6. I'm gonna stop mentioning 7s and 8s. Why are we gonna give 7s and 8s to Southampton at home? So he gets a 6 for me. Gabriel, very, very poor, and I've backed him quite often this season, and I know it's just one-off, it's a one bad game, and respect to him, 22 years of age, he apologised, and the difference is he doesn't really need to apologise for that, because it's not like the Pepe or Xhaka's incident where it was just stupid. It was 2 cards. The first one, wasting time. Yeah, maybe you learn from that. And I just think because of our performances recently, he was trying too hard. He was trying to press too fast. You could tell he really, really wanted it, and maybe that's where you needed an experienced head at the back to say, Gabby, just relax a bit. David Luiz might have helped him out in that situation, because it was just being a bit too rash. And based on that, he gets a 3 for me. Pretty poor from Gabriel. Kieran Tierney, not the greatest games either. And one thing I've maintained, this guy is a born leader. He fights. He doesn't shy away from fan base. Respect to him last week when we lost to Burnley. He was one of the few players that came out. Honestly speaking, and I've said it, and I did. Remember how I mentioned in that video ages ago that he should be our captain? I'm glad now social media and everyone is waking up to the idea of KT being our captain, because I kept mentioning that ages ago. When Oba was made a captain, I disagreed. I thought he should have been captain, and now I'm glad many of our fan base can actually see that. So KT, bad game, but overall can't fault him as our left back. But then again, he's been playing at left centre back, but still not good enough, so he gets a 4 for me. Ainsley, yep, looked so much better, and I was thinking to myself, yes, he didn't play a great game, but I knew if Bellerina played yesterday, would have definitely lost. So Ainsley, he gets a 5 for me. Didn't do much great, but he worked hard, decent tackles, and he wasn't caught out, and that's the most important thing. So he gets a standard 5. Saka, for me, our greatest player. The Alba goal was all due to his hard work, dribbling, continuously trying to make things happen, and you have to respect him. He came out yesterday, and said that us fans deserve more. A 19-year-old to come out and put the club's weight on his shoulder. Alba, maybe take a note from Saka's book and try to be a leader, because it seems like I'll get on to Alba actually. We'll get on to Alba soon. But Saka for me, as I said, man of the match, tried to make things happen, so he gets a 7 for me. Dani Ceballos, he actually played well for me yesterday. He tried to make things happen, but unfortunately he was on a yellow card, and I can understand why Mikel took him off. We just don't want to go down to 9 men, so that was quite, you see, I can praise Mikel, and that was very, very mature of Mikel to do, to make sure we didn't go down to 9 men and get another defeat. So but based on his performance, he gets a 6 for me. Mohamed El Neni, very, very poor yesterday. I'm non-existent, all these fans after the United game yelling he should get a contract. Where are you now? I've been telling you, all he is a squad player. Mohamed El Neni is a squad player, and that's all he'll ever be. I don't want to see this guy start, really. I get it right now, Partey's not playing, but I can't go too harsh on him because he's just, £5 million from Basel. But yeah, based on yesterday's performance, he gets a 4 for me because, uninspiring, didn't do anything great really. Moving on to the attackers, and actually let me start with Eddie, because many of you know I'm quite a critic of Eddie, and I don't think he has a ability to be a first team player here at Arsenal. I've always maintained he's lucky if he actually makes it to a team like West Ham in the future. But based on yesterday's performance, he was our best striker. He got the assist. He was pressing often. But it's just a shame that after Balogun's sort of hard work, getting 2 goals and an assist within 60 minutes of Europa League, why can't he even make it on a bench? It's stuff like this that Arteta makes me so mad. And then if Balogun doesn't sign his contract, then we only have Arteta to blame. Like, what does that kid have to do to even just sort of feature on a bench? So based on that, yeah. Sorry, going on to Eddie Nketiah. As I said, decent game and got the assist. I'm gonna have to give him a 6. Moving on to Nicolas Pepe, who I thought was our poorest attack. He just didn't seem to be bothered. His body language looked like he just didn't care. I'm not sure whether he still has issues with Arteta. It looked like that's still there, because when he got subbed off and Arteta tried to sort of shake his hand, he just didn't look interested. He didn't give him eye contact, just walked past him. And you can tell, and there are rumours that The Athletic today have mentioned that there's dressing room issues within Arsenal, and a lot of players feel like Arteta has a bit of favouritism going on, and they sort of mentioned within the article that a lot of players didn't like the fact that Willian went unpunished after his trip to Dubai, and then he immediately started against Leeds United. So could there be some sort of psychological issues within why Pepe's not bothered and he doesn't care? I can understand that to an extent, because if I was in his position and a manager just sort of threw me under the bus, and then when it came to sort of Xhaka, he was a lot more lenient on him, and when that same manager rarely plays you and just puts you in Europa League, and then this 32-year-old can come here and do what he likes. And furthermore, I thought Pepe towards the end of last season was picking up form and he was playing well, and then all of a sudden this season started, Arteta said goodbye, Willian starts. Surely that's gonna do some damage to you, and he is a bit fragile. No offense to Nicolas Pepe, he is mentally sort of fragile, and he's the type of player that stuff like that will affect him. So I'm not sure if we will ever see the best of Nicolas Pepe under Arteta, unless that relationship pairs, or unless Arteta or Pepe leaves the club. But based on yesterday's performance, he was just as bad as El Nene, so I'm going to have to give him a 4. Moving on to Oba. Yep, he scored a goal, but reason I've left him last is because I do not like his attitude recently. His body language, just not bothered. I mean, it's quite obvious that I want Arteta to go, but whilst you're here, Oba, just play, man. Just work hard. I can't even blame that on Arteta. The only thing I can blame Arteta is, then why do you continue to select him, and why not play Balogun? Yes, he scored. Yes, I get it. But other than that, what did he do? Just lounging around the pitch, not bothered. And it's funny how yesterday he came out and spoke to the press. Oba, where were you when we lost to Burnley? Where were you when we lost to Leeds? Nothing from the press, nothing from social media to apologise. Mate, you're the captain, yeah? I'm not expecting week in, week out for you to say, I'm sorry, we should be playing better. But it's like you're so out of touch. We only hear from you when things are going well. Even these behind the scene videos Arsenal put out every week. What is he doing? He's just, even in those videos, he's just not bothered. I'm not sure if there are issues there as well with Oba and Arteta, but he just does not seem interested. And if that's the case, then come out, say something. Yeah, we need to know what's going on, because half of these players look like they're lost. They're not bothered. They can't play. They're not asked to play for the manager, or is it you're not asked to play for the club? Because something needs to happen. We are, despite what people say, you can never be too big to go down. Ask Leeds United, ask Newcastle United. History can repeat itself. So I don't want us to be in a situation where these players are just not bothered. They're down tools, giving up on the manager. And yes, in terms of Oba, he scored. But other than that, what did he do to influence the game? And that's why he gets a 5 for me. And it's not for me more so about the game itself. It's how Oba is, his aura, how he's the way he conducts himself. Why are you so sort of shy? You shy away whenever we lose, but then yesterday you score a goal. You're happy to come back to the limelight. No, Oba, I'm sorry. That's not captain material. And if I know we're going to get a new manager, it's only a matter of time, and that's only because I can't see Mikel changing things. I've maintained come sort of after the Chelsea game, that's when we'll see Arteta leave, and I reckon we'll get a thrashing by Chelsea, and then that's when everyone will just lose hope. And for me, if the new manager comes, that's one thing he has to address. We need a proper leader, a proper captain. And I'm sorry, if he wants to go have a fit about it, Oba, and he's not happy with it, then fine, go elsewhere. I've defended Oba and I respect him, and I think he's one of our better players. And I'm not one of these guys, even after this season, I've not gone in on him. I really haven't. But I'm going to be real, he's not a captain. He really ain't. It's about time we give it to someone who actually cares for the badge. Someone like Kieran Tierney. And I've always maintained, so what if he's young? So what if he's just come from Celtic last season? So what? Thiago Silva captains Chelsea, and he's only been there how many months? Exactly. Anyways, guys, that's my player ratings and that's my preview. As I said, I do apologise for not having a preview and having a few days off, but going forward, hopefully I'll bring you better content like today's. Anyways, please like, subscribe, and all the best.